Okay, so I'm going to have a look at a 100 question vocabulary quiz. Yeah, it's going to be 100 questions with 4 multiple choice answers, and I think it gets increasingly hard as it moves on. Some interesting vocabulary nonetheless. I think it'll be quite difficult to get 100 out of 100 looking at some of the questions. Let's get into it and let's see how well you do. Here are the first 50 at least. Let's go. Okay, so let's get straight into it then. Number 1, it says Oliver is not very... He didn't even notice that his wife changed her hair colour. He's not very doubtful, observant, visible, well-known. Well, this one's an easy one to get started. He's not very observant. If you don't notice something, you're not a very observant person, I guess. Okay, let's move on to number 2. It says, when asked why he hadn't eaten his meal, Ivan responded, "It tastes terrible." He responded slightly, bluntly, contently, or modestly. Well, he was very, very plain, very frank. He responded, oh, I don't know where that's gone. Bluntly. Yeah, don't think there's any doubt about that one. Let's move on. Okay, number 3, it says, the company is working closely with a headhunting agency in order to fill 2 in the purchasing departments. 2 spaces, I guess. Vacancies, pensions, censuses. I've never seen that as in plural, but okay, censuses. Warrants. Yeah, it would be in order to fill 2 vacancies in the purchasing department, I think. Yeah, 2 positions that have become available. Number 4, on airplanes, George doesn't like sitting in the seat by the... because people often bump into him when they walk by. The seat by the root flood sleeve aisle. Well, a passage in a shop or in or the passage between the seats on a bus or on a plane in this case, yeah, we would call that the aisle. So that one's fairly easy as well. Okay, so I think so far 4 out of 4, I would assume. I don't think there's any doubt so far. I will check the answers at the end, of course, but that's a long way away, so... but I'm pretty sure so far. Okay. Philip cannot speak Chinese very well. When he was at a restaurant in Beijing, he tried to order duck, but the waiter his order and served him fish instead. Underestimated, misinterpreted, overstocked or destabilized his order. He misinterpreted his order. His order. No, he didn't understand it. He understood it in an incorrect way. Yeah, he misinterpreted it. No problems there. Okay, number 6 then. It says, competition created by the of 2 new airlines in 2010 has resulted in a large reduction in ticket prices created by the omission. Competition wouldn't be created by the omission of 2. And now, the synergy of 2 new airlines, the arousal. No, it's the emergence. No, they emerged. They were founded, these 2 new companies, and they've created competition for the existing companies. No, yeah, it's the emergence. No problem there. Okay, female polar bears take care of their... until young bears are strong enough to survive on their own. Their guild, their offspring, larvae, or breed, they take care of their offspring, right? They're young. They're the things that you give birth to are the offspring. Right, okay. And 8. Mrs. Parker delivered a very touching at her husband's funeral. Everyone cried when they heard it. She delivered a very touching eulogy, sarcophagus, diatribe, or carcass. Yeah, I hope she delivered a very touching eulogy. It's like a prayer or speech that we give at a funeral, sort of praising somebody's life. Yeah, definitely, no problem there. Okay, 9. The man had... So the police knew he couldn't have committed the crime. He was on vacation at the time. He had verdict, alibi, organ, sin. Well, when you have a story that proves that you could not have committed a crime, we call this an alibi. An alibi. And that normally means that somebody can confirm, or some data can confirm, that you were in a different place to where the crime was committed. So therefore, your alibi proves your innocence, essentially. When Tina's husband gave her flowers, this really... Afterwards, she was smiling all day. Set him aside, twisted her arm, let her down, made her day. She was smiling all day after that, so she was happy. It really, him giving her flowers made her day. Yeah, made her day, made her very happy. Yeah, absolutely. The young entrepreneur found a in the market and then exploited it. A perk in the market, something good, an advantage, a drawback, a disadvantage, a niche, or a bid. A bid being the amount of money that you offer for a product, normally a house or something at an auction. Anyway, he found a niche in the market. Don't think there's any doubt about that. He found a niche. It's a particular thing that you think you can exploit. I suppose like this YouTube channel has found a niche with proficiency level English learners. No. Anyway, let's have a look. Number 12. It was only so Jake didn't get very wet, even though he didn't have an umbrella. It was only foggy, hazy, drizzling, boiling. Well, if he didn't get very wet, I suppose it was only raining a little bit, very light rain, drizzle. It was drizzling, so he didn't get very wet. 19. The directions my friend gave us were coordinated, essential, novel, straightforward, so we were able to find his house easily. Well, if we were able to find his house easily, I suppose that the instructions, the directions he gave us, must have been fairly simple. No, they must have been fairly straightforward. No, there was no twist. They were simple to understand, yeah. The army initiated aforementioned simultaneous sympathetic ineligible. The army initiated attacks on 2 enemy locations at 6 a.m. this morning. I guess they were 2 simultaneous attacks at 6 a.m. They are happening at the same time, no? Yeah, don't think there's any doubt there. An injury to their star hockey player, the team's chances of winning the tournament, jeopardized, instigated, proliferated, or soothed. I think it damaged their chances. No, so it jeopardized the team's chances of winning the tournament. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that one either. Yeah, to jeopardize something is to put a spanner in the works, put a stick in the spokes. Essentially, it's to cause a problem for something, essentially. Okay, the mafia wanted control of the town, so they tried to other gangs into moving their activities elsewhere, divide, intimidate, combine, flatter. You think they were saying, "Oh, you're such good gangsters." Oh, I love the work you're doing in the area. No, I imagine they tried to intimidate the other gangs into moving their activities elsewhere to other places. Yeah, no problems there. Number 17. After much effort, the reporter managed to plagiarize, scorch, sustain, procure a copy of the secret government report. I don't think scorch or sustain or plagiarize, I imagine. Procure, no? Yeah, managed to procure a copy of the a copy of the secret government report. Yeah. If you would like to attend the ceremony, please ASAP FYI RSVP lol by 5 p.m. on Friday. Répondez s'il vous plaît. Yeah. Respond please by 5 p.m. on Friday. French expression RSVP. RSVP by 5 p.m. on Friday. ASAP. Well, we might as well go through the rest of those. What are these acronyms? Is that what they're called? ASAP, as soon as possible. FYI, for your information, so that you know it. Respondez, s'il vous plaît. I think. Yeah. So respond, please. And lol, laugh out loud, of course. Okay. Grace told her friends to use when telling others about her cocktail party. She didn't want everyone to know about it. To use pitch, discretion, ambiance, or synergy. To use synergy coming up again. To use discretion when telling others about the cocktail party. Yeah, this one's fairly easy. We're going through these very easily. They do get progressively harder, I believe, but anyway. I guess we'll find out if that's true or not. Using a microscope, the scientists could study the insect in devious, minute, valiant, obsessive, yes, in minute detail, right? You can study the insects in minute detail. Spelt the same as minute, pronounced minute. Yeah, okay. Earth's resources are limited. Environmentalists fear that the planet cannot procure, redeem, actualize, sustain current rates of consumption much longer. Well, we're always being told that our system's unsustainable, man. So I guess that we can't sustain current rates of consumption much longer. We'll have to start eating insects, they keep telling us all the bloody time. I'm not eating insects, so get lost. Number 22. Each speaker was 15 minutes to give his or her presentation. Was allotted, molded, afflicted, vetoed. I believe everyone was given this proportion of time. No, they were designated this amount of time. They were allotted. Allotment. That's the space that you've been given. Probably related to like a plot of land. No, that you're given. That you might have. We call an allotment. It's like a parcel of land that you can have. Usually used for growing vegetables or illegal drugs. But anyway, 23. Alison didn't have time to discuss the project, so she told her co-worker that she would with him tomorrow about it. Alison didn't have time to discuss the project, so she told her co-worker that she would keep track with him tomorrow about it. Touch base, move forward, fall behind. She told her co-worker that she would, because she didn't have time to discuss it. She said she would get him up to date with it. Move forward with him tomorrow about it. Fall behind is to get behind on your work, so that can't be right. Move forward with him about it. No. Keep track with him tomorrow about it. Not quite right. Touch base, right? Touch base. I think is the answer. I'm not. It's a little bit of an American expression coming from baseball, but I think that's right in that context. That I'll get you up to speed. Yeah. yeah, I'll get you up to speed with it, I guess is what we might say in England. I think it would be touch base, so we'll have to check these, of course, at the end of the video. The student made a big mob function venture fuss about receiving a C on the test. The professor told him to stop worrying about it and try to improve his grade on the next test. I doubt he made a big mob or a function or a business venture. I think he probably made a big deal about it. He made a big fuss about receiving a C- on his test. Okay. Bowling is a popular leisure, extinct, obese, exotic activity. It's a popular leisure activity, I'm pretty sure, amongst elderly American people. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. The ship was sinking. The captain, looking below, couldn't see the water in the darkness. Nevertheless, he took a breath and jumped into the infestation prodigy Crux void. Well, it was like a black space. He couldn't see the water in the darkness, so he jumped into this vacuum. Essentially, it's a void. Yeah. Yeah. Big open space. Black space. You can't see anything. There's nothing there. It's void. The void is nothing. To avoid something is to move away from it, to not come into contact with it, I guess, to create space for it. There's nothing but space. You avoid something. 27. The menu was written in wild writing that was barely portable, legible, feasible, edible. Well, it probably wasn't edible. Maybe what was being said wasn't quite plausible or feasible. Portable. I think it was legible. It was illegible. It was barely legible because it was wild writing, no? Anyway, couldn't read it. Oh, dear. Okay. Getting my visa was such a shift, hassle, jerk, drawback. I had to visit the immigration office 5 times. It was a real pain in the neck. It was a bother. It was really tough. It was difficult. It was a hassle. It was a real hassle. Yeah, it was a pain. George didn't want to make, oh, for goodness sake, George didn't want to make a decision. So he had, so he said he would think about it for a while. He didn't want to make a rational decision, psychological, invisible, hasty. He didn't want to make a hasty decision. If you do something hastily, you do it too fast. You don't give it enough consideration. So he wanted to think about it for a while because he didn't want to make a hasty decision. Hasty decisions made in haste, decisions made in haste can often be turn out to be big mistakes. Okay. We are looking to hire an employee who is able to meet pure, long, tight, sharp deadlines. Who's able to meet tight deadlines, I think. Deadline is the last moment, the day, hour that you can hand something in, that you can get something done by. So I think it's a tight deadline. No, it's when you don't have much time to do something. So we're looking at someone who can do things very quickly when they're being told to do them. Within the time limit, within a tight deadline. Yeah, I think so. Lacking a high school diploma, Jared's only options were poorly paid jobs, such as washing dishes. These are jobs that are, I suppose, unskilled, essentially. So sovereign, menial, infatuating, liable. The job is menial. Menial jobs, such as washing dishes. Yeah, it's what young people have to do most of the time, It's just a reality. Although the couple had faced many problems, they decided to, and not break up. Wear it off, take it apart, stick it out, hand it in. They decided to, just just live with the mess that they'd found themselves in. They decided to cope with it, move on, stick it out. Just continue to, see how far you can go. Stick it out. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, apricots and walnuts grow well in Poland. There you go. But they do not in many parts of Russia because of the colder temperatures. Flourish, impede, expand, initiate. I guess they don't thrive. Another word which comes from obviously floration, I think, to do with flowers. They don't flourish. They don't flourish in many parts of Russia because it's too cold. But in Poland, yeah, they do okay. Electronic cars are supposed to be more, because electricity is cheaper, than gasoline. Electronic cars are supposed to be more economical, financial, monetary, economic. So I think everyone gets confused between economical and economic. And I think the correct answer here is economical. That they cost less money, essentially. So, yeah. The company CEO told the director of the finance department that she was, for the company's financial problems this year, she told the director of the finance that she was accountable, credible, aligned, admirable. She told the company's director that she was responsible. No, she was accountable for the company's financial problems this year. Yeah, she admitted that she was accountable for them. Yeah, absolutely. When riding public transit, it is courteous to transmit, exemplify, yield, pedal your seat to elderly people. To give up your seat to elderly people. That's the courteous, polite thing to do. You yield your seat to elderly people. Yeah, yield has a lot of meanings, but yeah, essentially it has something to do with giving up. Giving. We talk about crop yields as well. We talk about how much the earth gives you, essentially, in terms of the yield of crops in a season. Anyway. Rita was guiding, starving, crushing, melting. Rita was, she had been lost in the forest with no food for 3 days. Well, she had no food. I imagine she was starving. No, right? She was starving to death of, what's the more technical word for starvation? I can never remember it. Inanition, is it? Or something like that. Anyway, Barry is a driver. Reckless driver, privileged, mandatory, routine. On his way to work today, he nearly killed 3 people. So he has no consideration. He doesn't think very much about the way he's driving. He's a reckless driver. Doesn't like to reckon too much about what he's doing. In order to survive without food, it's wise to minimize clemency, exertion, bias, liability. In order to survive without food, it is wise to minimize, I think, the amount of energy that you use. No, exertion. Yeah. Mike not wanting to make a decision, well, we've already seen something about a hasty decision, decided to calm down and then think about what to do. A rash decision, liable decision, robust decision, prudent decision. Well, he didn't want to make a decision that was too quick and not well considered enough. So it's a rash decision. Yeah, no doubt about that one. Don't think I've had any doubts really about any of them so far. Could be wrong. The telemarketer's sales sketch pitch treaty venture was too pushy, so I hung up the phone. So they're trying to sell me something over the phone, and when you're trying to sell something to people, maybe if you've seen the English version of Dragon's Den, what the young entrepreneurs do is they propose an idea to these millionaires, And this is what we call a sales pitch, when you pitch an idea to somebody. And in this case, it was too forward, too aggressive, and so I hung up. The previous tenants were, for not paying rent. The landlord is now searching for new people to move in. They were sentenced, they were evicted, assessed, forfeited. They had to forfeit their house, and maybe they were sentenced by a court if it got that far. But the first thing you would do, in England at least, where we respect private property, is they would be evicted. Yeah, right, the tenants were evicted for not paying rent. Yeah, okay, no problems there. 43. A common of working for a beer company is that employees usually get discounts on beer. Common acronym, proverb, whoa, perk. A nice little advantage, a little thing that you get on top of your wages, a little perk of the job. We talk about the perks of the job now, some of the little advantages. Maybe a company car might be a perk of the job. In this case, you get discounts on beer, which is obviously a nice little perk. People who are have difficulty driving because they cannot read signs. People who are illiterate, I imagine that might be a problem, yeah. Unconventional, untrustworthy, or impure. All of those people may have problems driving, as well as in other walks of life. Anyway, the answer's clearly illiterate, isn't it? People who can't read obviously can't read signs. Brenda decided to move out of her apartment last night. She has had a myriad of problems, but yesterday she found a mouse in her kitchen. That was the silver lining. I don't think there's nothing nice about finding a mouse in your kitchen. Is there? A silver lining is obviously when you have a black cloud. Every cloud has a silver lining kind of thing. You know, there's always a positive from a negative. There is always the sunshine after a storm or something like that, they say, don't they? The last straw, hot potato, nail on the head. That was the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, absolutely. That was what did it for her. Yeah. Mike always his father's commands. He's a good son. Reflects, condemns, quotes, obeys. Yeah, I think fairly clear now. He always obeys his father's commands. Tina's grandparents, her. They give her gifts and sweets every visit. Endorse her, disregard her, spoil her, urge her. Well, yeah, they're turning her into quite a capricious young girl. They are spoiling her. Tina's grandparents spoil her. Yeah. Okay, right. 48. After the merger, many employees feared their jobs would be made prestigious, conspicuous, redundant, cynical. Well, when something no longer serves a purpose, it is redundant. So the jobs would be made redundant is the answer here. Right, 49. The Japanese economy was in the late 1980s. People were rich and money was everywhere. The economy was sharpening, trailing, booming, frustrating. We obviously talk about an economic boom, so the economy in Japan was booming. Absolutely. Okay, 50 then. We're halfway through this. Kathy has bad vision, but she's too to wear glasses because she thinks they look unattractive. She's too vain, preoccupied, vulgar, limp. Well, if you're too preoccupied about your physical appearance, you are too vain, I believe. Okay, let's take a little rest. Okay, so that's the first 50 done. I'm pretty sure I've got 50 out of 50, but we'll find out in the next video because I'm going to do the following 50 and then correct it and see if I have in fact got them all right. And what else? Not much else, actually. Click the blue button under the video, though, if you want to find out if there's anything else on this channel. Because there is more stuff. There's exclusive content. And to those of you who are already members, I've got more stuff coming out. Tonight, I think I'm going to have time tonight to expand on the writing video we were looking at yesterday. So hopefully I can get round to that. this evening and look at a couple of essays that you've sent me and see if I can be a little bit more objective in my correcting of those essays, and if we can learn together what the examiners are looking for in our essay writing. So that'll be fun, but only if you're a member. So you need to click that blue button under the video, the join button. Remember to click that, then I can make more of this free content and exclusive content for everyone. Okay, bye.